Hey there, Julia here. Today I am just going to quickly walk you through my new planner setup for the second half of 2025. I am continuing on with the undated Faded Chronicle TN planner, which is a 2-book system. This was the first half of the year here, and I have a video on the initial setup and more detailed specs, and I'll leave that for you up here. But with this walkthrough, I'm just hoping that I can throw some ideas your way and just talk through what I'm working with. So let's talk about how I updated this cover setup just for a more refreshed, reset feeling. Open it up here. I have been loving this cover. So the first thing that I did was reset the stickers and the photos that I have in the pockets. We're going really minimal. Only have 3 in here so far. Going to Japan the second half of the year. So I wanted something that's Japan related. Also going to some fun pin shows. And so I have Annabelle's harmonic nib sticker in there. And the rose just because it kind of tied it together with the silver and gold. And in the back, I have a new photo of my dogs that I clipped to the folder, and then I just moved this wedding photo up. It was kind of pushed down in here and you only could see like this much, so I just moved it up a little bit, clamped it in, so really cute in the back there. I also swapped out the pencil board to the Love and Trip one. Before I had the Traveler's Town like blue design because I thought it went with this one better, and I thought that the red Love and Trip, this kind of burgundy red with the brighter red, went well with this notebook. Little small detail, but hey, anything that we can do to make it feel refreshed. I also swapped out the little pocket system here. Before I had the yellow canvas system where you had the card slots and the little flap. And with that, as pretty as it is, I love that mustard yellow color. It was a little annoying not knowing what was in there at any given time. And so I decided to swap it out for this clear insert so that I can see everything that's going to be in here at all times and just makes it easier to use. I'm sure I'll end up doing a fun little dashboard insert or a photo collage or something in this pocket so that it's a little more aesthetically pleasing whenever I open it up. I was thinking that I could put my different TN inserts depending on where I'm going. So my traveling insert, my New Mexico insert, my life journal, my pin show insert, whatever the case may be, I can just pop that in here. And I was thinking that I might just have an insert just because, not necessarily for notes, but just to like play around in the meantime. I'm not sure yet though, but either way, extra inserts would go here. I have some tabs in here now, a small blotter paper. Last time I used this clear pocket insert, I was in an actual TN cover and it doesn't have a pencil loop or a pin loop on it, and so this pin loop I just have attached here, which is fine if I don't use it because it doesn't really poke out that much. And if I did want to use it for like a smaller gel pen or something, I think it would work out fine. Okay, let's get to the planner pages so we can see volume 1 and now volume 2. I did add a sticker on the outside, much like this one. And as you can see, as far as the decoration goes, I have it set up pretty much the same. We're just changing color themes here, washi tape, that type of thing. But I have made some changes with the types of pages, the layout as well. So let's go through that. So you open it right up to the year at a glance that I'm using as my period tracker. This side of the page was the first half of the year, and I don't need that for the second half of the year. So I decided to print a very large sticker of artwork from an artist that I really enjoy, Aseo Andrews. I've mentioned him a lot in my journaling and planning specific content. He popped up a lot in my reading journal setup a couple of years ago, but I love Aseo Andrews, and so perfect time to feature another one of his paintings here. And then you flip into the future log section. And again, since we're in the second half of the year here, I did not need the first 6 months. So the future log technically starts here with July through December. However, I needed some future planning even further into 2026, especially whenever we get down to these last couple of months. So this spread is the first 6 months of 2026, and I printed out my mini calendars here. These aren't in the shop yet. I actually made these stickers Monday start just for this spread, but these will be up in the shop soon, both Monday and Sunday start. I have them in the shop every year, and so this is going to be really helpful for planning the first half of next year. And so what I do, same as last setup, these bottom lines, I write in birthdays, and then in this little square grid area, I write in any dates planning ahead, not in the current month. And then we get into July, but I'm going to flip back to the back of the planner because I have some setup spreads in there as well. So there are some tracker pages back here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using those. I did not the first half of the year, and I'm not sure if I will this time around either. So back here I have my 2025 and photos part 2. If you're curious what part 1 looks like, I need to do June, but yeah, so I just choose a photo at the end of the month and just document it here. And so it makes a nice little photo visual recap of the year. And then flipping over, this is my admin and whiteboard spread. I use this every Monday. Can we see? Yeah, you see how shiny this section is, and this up here, it's because this is reusable. So think of it like a whiteboard. I'm usually writing numbers and doing quick math and things like that here. And then this will be a permanent checklist of things that I do on Monday, such as record expenses, clear my downloads folder, check in on overdue invoices, that type of thing. And so I just go through and check those off with a dry erase marker and then keep it moving. I also have my 2025 focus section here, and I am going to revisit this. I have this same spread over here. The word is the same, but I do want to revisit at the mid-year point some of the things that I've set out to do in these categories: work and professional, personal, and hobby. In my initial setup, this page was the activity calendar, which I'll show you because it's right here, which was this setup where it is that reusable material. And the idea was to plan out physical activity in 2-week time increments. And I did do it a little bit, but I was also recovering from surgery at the beginning half of the year, and it just wasn't moving along as far as physical activity as much as I wanted it to. Good news, I am back in dance, so things are moving along, and I'm actually out of post-surgery and all of that, so yay. But the second half of the year, we have so much travel, so much just things to worry about that I don't think that I would actually use the activity calendar. So I'm just gonna get it in when I can, go to dance when I'm here. And yeah, I just felt like I didn't need the spread in this book this time around. The next spread is a travel log part 2, and in the travel log, I just document any overnight trips. I put the location in the colored section of the box. I'll write the dates and why we're going to the location. Over here, I have my yearly Big Brother spread. I love Big Brother. It's one of my favorite TV shows. I've been watching it since the early days, maybe like season 3 or something. But here I'll have a photo of the cast. I'll make a prediction for the winner and then the actual winner and write in America's favorite house guests. And then over on this side, I'll track week by week what happens. So who's head of household, who gets the veto, all of that nerdy stuff. I love to track and look back on the Big Brother season for the year. And then in the back here, you see I have another tab. This is a notes section. And so I have an index here to mark what is in the very back of the planner. Right now, I only have my 2026 journal and planner thoughts. And what I've done, since this back section isn't numbered, I went ahead and numbered all of the pages. And in the very back, I gave myself room to think about my 2026 journal and planner lineup and how much space did I give myself? Oh boy, 2 spreads. So I'm sure that will expand throughout the notes section. I know last year, any sheet of paper that I could get my hands on, I was planning my 2026 lineup. I was scratching things out. I felt like it was everywhere, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But at least I have a starting point here. Okay, and then while we're at it, just in case you are new to this planner, I want to show you what the day-to-day, the monthly, the weekly spreads look like. So you have an opening page here. You also have an inbox. I use this just for the last couple of months. I've been using it to track all of our work projects and writing, like dotting. I'll show you, like dots of how long it's been going on. So if this is my, in this case, 4th time writing this down in an inbox, then I'll just add a dot. And I'll only add a dot if we're on the hook to do something. If we're waiting on them, then I don't put a dot. And then over time, you can see who's been waiting the longest, that type of thing. And it's just nice to see all the active projects in one place. So I've been using this spread for that. And then you have your typical monthly calendar. I like that it's undated because I like writing in the days and the numbers, and that may come from my bullet journal beginnings, but I just think it adds a little more personality and ownership to the planner. I think I initially liked the undated book because it was a new size. This was a new concept for me. And so I was like, well, if I decide to not use it and then come back to it, it'll be fine because it's undated. But I've been using it consistently since the beginning of the year, and I still like that it's undated. And then you get into your weekly dashboard. And so mine is set up a little bit differently because we are traveling this first week, but I have my events and day specific things over here. This is typically where I keep my social media things, like what I need to do each day, but it's intended for expenses. So you can do whatever you want, really. And then you have a task list here. And right now I have it for when we get back. What do I need to do for work? What did I need to do for personal? And then a notes section down here. And then after that, you get 2 spreads, so 4 pages of dailies. And so for dailies, I do something like this, where I just have the day, I'll repeat any events or appointments happening, and then my task list for today. Sometimes I'll write little notes and big happenings in there as well, but for the most part, it is a running daily task list. And then you have another weekly, and it runs on that way until you get to the trackers and the notes in the back. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I feel like I've simplified quite a bit, but I've really just been enjoying this TN size setup and the Chronicle notebook. Tiffany over at Faded Chronicle was super nice, and I got a little sneak peek of what's coming for 2026, and I really love what she's been working on. But let me know what you think here and what you're planning in for the second half of the year. I'm also really curious and excited to see what all of these planner companies are going to do with the Tomoe River paper situation. I've already seen that a few of them are changing papers altogether. They're just like not fooling with it. They don't want to see the same thing happen next year that happened this year. And I'm so excited that they care and that they've been doing the research and asking for feedback and not accepting subpar paper. And I've been seeing paper options for papers that I already love, like Irreful, View Corona. I've been loving lately for ink swatching. Also, of course, Cosmo Airlight. My ink journal is in Cosmo Airlight. Love that paper as well. So I'm just ready for planner season, ready to fill this thing up, and I think it's going to be a great second half of the year. Be sure to subscribe for more stationery related hangouts. Thanks so much for watching this. And if you want to check out the mid-year status of all of my journals and planners, including my reading journal, my ink journal, common placing, all of that, click or tap right there, and I'll catch you in the next one.